Could have just
that's
been
normal.
That's normal.
Over there.
It could have been an argument between the
Yes,
spouses,
yes,
right?
yes.
And but do you still care about me? Of course, my vow says I'm supposed to, but I don't feel like I just don't like you right now, right? So, but when you're outside of the will of God, outside of that space, it may feel like a producer just wrote a fat track, which Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis did. It's a dope track.
I love the song.
Oh, of course.
Like, I'm gonna go sing it after this.
And SOS Band
At
killed
karaoke
it.
tonight. I'm just kidding.
And 43, that song is 43 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And still to this day, in Atlanta specifically, it's on the top 20.
Oh, wow.
In spins.
Yeah.
And it's still to provoke this kind of conversation.
Right. This level of conversation that lets you know when we look at, I think, Wanda, to your point, this is why I say church has done a bad job. That's why I loved episode 6. Church has done a horrific job at making God's word practical. I'm the hair doctor too. And when I went to school, there was the written. I had to absorb the written, but then I had to go on the floor and work it out in the practical. And then when I got out of school, I had to put all of that I had learned in school to practice so that I could go from newbie on the street to hair doctor today. Right. So it's the process. And I think because we don't understand life by God's design, we get duped by the enemy because he's the father of lies and he's a deceiver and he perverts God's purpose. So when I got to episode 6 was at the end of the day, if it isn't God's design, it's dysfunction.
But let me ask you this, though. How do you, for those who aren't in God's plan, well, I should say that. For those who weren't in God's relationship from the get up that we can see in terms of how we're doing it, right? It's going to be tough to teach a new dog, old dog, a new trick.
I'm the dog.
Well, we all are.
Yeah.
So sometimes you take an old dog and teach them something new. You tell it, you're not doing something right. That you've been letting it do the whole time. That dog's going to bite you.
Yes.
Because that dog knows nothing more than when you said I could do this all these years.
Yep.
And now you tell me I can't do that no more.
Yep.
That's gonna take some time just to unravel that and teach that dog a new behavior.
Thank you. Wanda, I'm coming right back to you after this question because you're gonna laugh at where I'm about to go. You're gonna fall on the floor. This is why Shawnee Vale exists. I could read the Bible every day and quote the scriptures every day, all day long. It say, case in point, because James chapter 1, verse 2. Count it all joy whenever you encounter trials of various kinds, period. What? Because then my mind goes to all the various kinds of trials that I'm supposed to count joy.
Trauma can be replaced with the word trial.
Trauma, trial, problem, right? But then it goes on to say, because the goal of the trial is to make you mature and complete, lacking nothing. Then it gives you instruction. If you don't know what to do, pray to the Father. He loves to help. You'll get his help and won't be condescended to. Just ask boldly, believingly, without a second thought, and he will answer those prayers. But when we pray when we pray not believing, don't expect to get an answer to those prayers. So at the end of the day, what I've learned is when I don't know how to do it God's way, my mind has to change and my skill set has to change. And I need Jesus for that. So you can't do it without Jesus. There's no advice that I can give any person on the planet that will say you can play this game of life and be successful without Jesus on any level. Miss Wanda, how is that speaking to you?
Wow. I'm sorry. I'm processing through this thing that's going on in my head. But I think that, living life in two different lenses, right? Or seeing life in two different lenses. The life that you had before you knew God, or before I knew
Mhm.
God, right? And then the
Mhm.
life that I have now that I have a close relationship with God.
Mhm.
And that goes back to I think it goes back to my question of how come I'm seeing this in a way that you aren't? And I think it's because I'm still kind of in that mindset of
Mhm.
this lens, this experience being over here in the ungodly
Mhm.
part of my life, if
Mhm.
to just kind of put it like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at this lens, I'm looking at this situation now with this clean lens, right? The lens
Yeah. Come
of
on.
Jesus, right?
Come on.
But I'm still also feeling the residual dirt from the
Mhm.
other. I don't know if I'm even making sense. It's
You
just
are
kind of
making
what's coming up
Wanda,
for
you just
me
don't
right
understand how much sense you're making.
now.
Because that's the process. That
Yeah,
you're
it's like
describing the
going
process.
from this thing
Yes.
to here,
Yes.
and how do I reconcile? I think that the problem is in the reconciliation for me. It's like, how do I reconcile these two parts of my life to now see what God is doing, what He did through this season, and how He is bringing that forth in the season now.
This is so
Well,
good. Go ahead.
Well, the word says, "There's a way that seems right to a man that leads to destruction." Right.
Yeah.
So
And
if
in
we
the
don't,
end, it ends to death, leads to death.
right.
Yeah.
So that's really where it is. I think one of the key points that we hadn't made or drove home through the course of the series yet, I mean, it's a good thing that this series that we're
That's why
filming
it's
it right
coming
now,
on to our show.
right, is because when we find ourselves in those spots where we're not in the midst of God's, we're finding in perfect will,
Mhm.
we're in that permissive state where He's allowed us to be. He's a gentleman to us, allows us to take all of our behavior
Yep.
and says, "It's all good wherever you are.
That's what you
Come
like.
as you are." And this is where we, where you find yourself, and then you go, "Oh man, God, I look back over my life, and I really wasn't a good person in
That's
your eyes."
That's
Yeah.
right. In His
Yeah.
eyes,
Right.
through His
Mhm.
lens,
Right.
through
Yeah.
His creation.
But what
Yeah.
kills us is a lot of times we don't allow ourselves to have that filter of God's view and perspective of us. We look at our view. Well, you and I talked about it this week, and you said, I feel like some kind of way.
I'm gonna tell you.
Well, I can, you say
You want me to say it,
yeah,
and then you can talk
yeah.
to it. Oh, I said I feel like a dumb. I woke up the other morning, and this was my self thought. You're a dumb bee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a dumb bee. And then by the time I got to the doctor's office that day, they had me do the ACEs study.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I was grabbing the side of my head, and Andre's a witness to it, grabbing the side of my head going, I hate myself. I hate myself. I hate myself. And then I could see myself as a child being left alone, scared, and just, I hate myself. I hate myself, because there was nobody there to take care of me. And what was formed was self-hatred. That's what I brought into a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that right there is where every person finds themselves. And if you don't have that foundation of God, but here's the thing, even though we have that,
Yes.
we still struggle.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
why?
It's the part of this, it's the sinful side of us. It's the fallen man side. It's the part of the curse that God allowed us to place. Well, Adam caused the curse to fall, right? So our sinful nature is going to put us that way. So the enemy is going to make us want to believe everything negative about ourselves. So yes, the tools that you're presenting through Shoneyville, through SLB, and Ms. Wanda, and you go through all the things which she teaches and talks on. We have those tools.
That's right.
But like Batman, the tools are on our tool belt.
Yes.
They're not effective until we actually pull them out and begin to use them. So we have to, through these kind of shows and these kind of things we're involved with, we have to then take the tools out and say, core 1, 2, 3, all the way to 7. I need to use them in a way to help me forgive myself.
That's right.
So I can eventually, like from the last show I just came out of, love myself
That's
and
right.
become happy because the enemy doesn't want us to be happy. He wants us to use all of the things he accuses us of that we've done, our thoughts, the agreements we make with him, right, about how negative we are.
Yeah.
And then now we're locked into some agreement
That's
contractually
right.
Yeah.
that we're
Yes.
not a child of God.
That's right. And that's the problem. Can Coach Shawnee come to this party?
Please, but
Oh my God.
they're all the same.
Wait, but before you do
What?
that, Coach Shawnee, I just want to
Yeah.
extend on Craig's analogy a little bit because he talks about us having the tools in his tool belt. But one of the problems too is that we either don't feel worthy of using those tools, like we don't feel worthy to defend ourselves. We don't feel like we deserve that grace. So we don't use the tools. So we walk around knowing that we have tools in our tool belt, but we don't use them because we don't feel like we're worthy to use them. And that's one of the issues. Go.
So, Coach Shawnee to the party, because this is why I want to make it very simple for everybody. I said, master the game of life. Before you can master the game of life, you have to be a good player. And to be a good player, you have to know you're a player. So the first problem is identity. I don't know who I am, and I don't know what I'm here to do. And I don't know who created me and why he created me, and I don't know I'm loved by him. But if I know I play for the 49ers, I know I'm a quarterback, I know what time I have to report to work, I know that the team loves me, respects me, is going to pay. That's how simple it is. You are a player mastering the game of life. Your core four is your development, which is your responsibility. How are you managing your spiritual life? How are you managing your emotional life every day? Every day. How are you managing your mindset? And how are you managing your body? What kind of player in this game of life do you want to be? So who you are is who you bring into key number 5. That's your relationships.
But you got to go to training camp. You got to go to training camp.
Come on.
You can't be a successful 49er if you've never gone to training camp.
No. And let me give you one step further. You can't play on the 49ers if you didn't go play Pee Wee. So I can't come out of Pee Wee and be like, I'm going to go win a Super Bowl with the 49ers. Do you know how crazy I look? That means I have to go through the stages of development. And here's the thing, my love doves. Nobody wants to suffer sexy. Nobody wants to go to training camp. Nobody wants to lose weight. Nobody wants to exercise. Nobody wants to cry. Nobody wants to run. No, but dang it.
And nobody wants to get hit.
And nobody wants to get hit. But if you're going to win a Super Bowl, when the 49ers, and I love my Niners, when the 49ers start this season, they already know people are going to throw penalties at me.
With no wins.
Shut up. They're going to win a Super Bowl.
Blasphemous.
Blasphemous. Let me finish my Coach Shawnee point. This is so good. They expect and anticipate that they will have an injury, that they will have to go to practice, that they will have to travel, that they will have to run. They're going to get unjustly penalized. They're going to get away with some penalties, right? All of those things are going to happen because they want to win a Super Bowl. Do you want to master the game of life? If you do, and your answer is yes, it starts with the spiritual key. That's why your relationships are jacked up, and because you don't know who you are.
I think the analogy is brilliant, right? Because the 49ers and every other team, they have coaches, positional coaches.
Yes.
And the nature of the organization is that it's a community.
That's right.
Well, I mean, it's a business, right?
It's a business. It has a business component that runs the community.
Right. And so there's not a player on any sport, not even golf or tennis, though they are singular sports. They're not by themselves because even golf, they have a swing coach. They may have a putting coach. On the 49ers, you have positional coaches, wide receiver coaches. The quarterback has a coach. Even the coach has a head coach and the general manager.
Marketing.
Right. And even the ownership body, then if it's a corporation, there is a board of directors and some governance. So one of the keys that we also need to bring about, and we've said it, and you always talk about Shawneeville being a community. I think a lot of folks don't allow themselves to participate in the community. And so far, tech, okay, we use Rashay in the background. She mentioned when we're off camera, she says excited about the clubhouse being open in her community. there's a clubhouse that we have here, part of Shawneeville, part of SLB Enterprises, where people can come in and recreate and be a part of and meet other people. How often do we actually go to a place where we're actually in a crowded room and still be isolated?
Oh,
Are we allowing ourselves to be open enough? And it goes back to what Wanda said, to allow ourselves to be loved enough and accept the love that someone outwardly would give us and show towards us
that's right.
because of how we feel on the inside, without using those tools to go,
Right.
I need to fix that love inside, because I can't accept the love
Mhm.
that anybody gives me
Mhm.
if I'm not
Yes.
first loving myself.
That's right.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's the key.
That's it. That's it.
That's why we exist. That's why Full Circle exists. That's why Speak Her. Me and Miss Wanda has a method called Speak Her Consulting. Miss Wanda, I'm sorry. What is the mission of Speak Her?
Is to serve women executives and entrepreneurs and help them to deliver their message. But inside Speak Her is books and speaking and all of the things, but it's all rooted in helping people find their voice and to be able to amplify their voice.
Why did God entrust you with that brand?
That's a good question. I ask him that all the time. He gave me this gift when I was young, and I still am trying to reconcile that part. I don't know why I'm the one, but I gladly take the mantle. I enjoy it, but I don't know why. I think that there are things in my life that he is using and will continue to use. But honestly, I don't know why it's me. Even when you say you're the voice, I'm like, okay, like I accept it, but it still has some crystallizing to do within me in order for me to really embody that, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, because what you're describing again is identity.
Mhm.
And so God, when you embrace that childlike identity, Daddy, I named you this, you're my child, and I want you to go and do this. When it's that simple, if I have a loved father that I trust and I'm safe with, and he goes, Shawnee, I want you to go da 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 da. See, I now have a dad in Africa. You're going to meet him in the next series. His name is Servant. And this week he just said, daughter, this is what you're called to do. You're called to this work. You're called. There is nothing like the confirmation of a dad. And God has surrounded us with surrogates. Craig, I love that you're wearing this. When I told him, and I'm not playing, these people will tell you, I'm not in this for the cash, the checks, or I am like, this is who you are. This how I see you. I don't care what you think you are. You are the representation of dad in this earth. Period. And what dad represents is possibility. Do you understand that? Dads give us possibility. When Servant told me who I was and what I was called to do and confirmed what God had told me, there's no more question for me today. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And should I decide to change his mind, this all stops today.
And see, that's for me, that's where the struggle is because, as I mentioned in pre-production yesterday, like I didn't have the covering of my father. So that's where me and God still have this, like, I'm still trying to figure this thing out with Daddy God, because I didn't have that covering here. And so even though I know I am fully covered, fully loved, fully known, all of the things that my father offers me, my heavenly father, there's still learning that I have to do. There's still trust that I have to build. All of the things, because I didn't have that here, it's still kind of rubbing against the relationship I have with God.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the rub. Right?
I think it's the trust, what Wanda's mentioned right there. There's the key.
Yeah.
Is that, do we trust? I don't think we really trust ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an interesting thing to say that, right? I don't trust myself to make a good decision on my own, right? And then if we've been hurt, and if God allowed something to happen to us that's so catastrophic that broke our heart or hurt our feelers, right? Do we actually trust God to not do it again? So I'm mad, right? And so if we deal in this issue of I'm mad at God and are mad at me and I don't trust either one of us, when do I really put that stuff down and go, okay, God, you're God and you're going to do what you need to do? Because every decision that I've made was already something you already knew. Everything that I've been through is something you already knew I needed to go through. Like the songs we talked about this week, go through, and the song I wrote through.
That's what's coming next.
Is that it helps us become everything we're supposed to be, that God wanted us to be, because we can't get to those points to get to who we are without going through something.
Yeah.
Can I just say this to y'all?
Yeah.
And I guess I had to go through to get this revelation. Shawnee, this is for me and God, right? Shawnee, yes, Dad. Do you want to be a 49er? Yes, Dad. You're going to have to lose some weight physically. Deal with that. Okay, Dad. Shawnee, yes, Dad. Do you want to be an MVP on the team? Yes, Dad. You're going to have to deal with those emotional roadblocks. What does that mean, Dad? I'll guide you and direct you, but you have to be obedient when I tell you to face it, feel it, so that we can get free from it, so that you can develop. Okay, Dad. Shawnee, what? Sorry, Dad. Yeah, you're going to have to ask me something I don't want to answer, but okay, what, Dad? Do you want to be yourself? Yes, Dad. Then you're going to have to submit to my will, way, time, and plan. Means you're going to have to read your word. Why? Because that's where I place the instruction. That's cosmetology school, boo. You got to know what I said so I can speak to it, so that when we get out on the field, you can run the play.
Yeah.
Okay, Dad. Now, last thing, Shawnee, do you want to play? Yeah. Do you think you're my child and you're on this team and that I made you? Yes, Dad. Then you have everything you need to make good decisions every single day. And then you accept the outcome as it is, knowing that I showed up for work. I did what I'm supposed to do. I know who I am. I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and everything else is development. That's it. So let me go to my tech team, because it's 10:43. We got 2 minutes. This next clip, I mean, we just literally, when God said, Shawnee, stop worrying about that dang show. I'm a producer. He is producing the mess out of this thing today. I just want everybody to know, nobody's writing scripts. No, we have a little pre-production discussion, but none of this was discussed in that meeting yesterday, which is only about 20 minutes, because we're talking tech and all this other stuff. None of this was discussed. So I want you to know, when you come here on Saturday, this is God's show. And whatever happens here, he directed it. We just showed up as players on his team. Period. Dot. End of story. I got 1 more minute before it's 10:45. Let me set up the clip. Tech team, I'm getting ready to ask you for it.
A girl who felt a
Hold on, tech team. They're excited. I'm excited for the next series too. I'm excited too. But let me tell you, we are leaving the relationship experience and we are heading into the unparented series. You heard the discussion here. When we try to enter relationships and try to do life, we got to get unparented. The Bible says, and I quote, you were born into sin and shaped into iniquity. Then it goes on to say, so seek me first, the kingdom of heaven and my righteousness. That is the way of life that is right, before you get into anything. So when we get into marriages, relationships, colleges, whatever, without God's understanding of who we are and what we are called and designed to do, we end up producing weeds and not fruit. So tech team, now can you introduce the next clip so we can start to talk about where we're going?
A girl who felt abandoned in childhood becomes the adult who attracts emotionally unavailable people. She falls in love too quickly, but cuts people off too coldly. She self-sabotages at the very first hint of things going too well. She settles for a surface-level connection by giving herself up sexually. You see, this little girl is recreating what's familiar to her, a chaotic childhood with emotionally unavailable parents. And even though many years have passed, this little girl is still running the show. And she's waiting for you to finally see her and feel her. She's asking to be held in a way that she couldn't growing up. And until this child is met and felt inside, you will be doomed to repeating these patterns again and again, no matter how many relationships you switch through. little girl.
Now do you see why we're going to unparented? Because when I saw that clip, I was like, well, dang. Dang, 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 dang. I just repeated it. I got married and just repeated it over for 30 years. Wash, rinse, repeat. And one of my friends said to me, I can't believe you stayed in this thing this long. She says, I couldn't have done it. Well, you got married 5 times. So you did. You just did it with 5 different people.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's you're bringing to the party. It's the me. So I'm so thankful for this show. And I didn't know before Craig asked me to write this. I did not know. So when I said, oh my God, I got married thinking I was a hoe, I was only going to marry a fool, right? Because the hoe needs the fool to survive. And the fool needs the hoe.
But
You got any thoughts on unparented dad?
What was funny is initially when I thought unparented, I thought about people who didn't have functional parents, right? Because we're really underdeveloped men and women. You really can't be nothing but an underdeveloped parent, right? So you figure it's even less development there to have a parent.
That's right.
And even the scripture you used, we're formed in sin and shaped in iniquity. I'm thinking, well, yeah, but what if the kid got, was born in a relationship with a husband and wife? But still, then I was then given the thought, at some point during that sexual experience, there was a thought or two, or even an action or two, that was outside of God's plan for that emotional experience. So then the shaping part is how the person was raised by 2 underdeveloped parents.
That's right.
That are unparented, right? So you have to be your point. You have to take your parents away, the physical earthly parents, and allow the Lord to deal with you and shape you, reshape you the right way.
Mhm.
The way he designed you.
Right. And it's all there. And no shade on parents.
No,
This
we're
is the
all
way it
parents.
is.
It's us too. I shape my children in the best way that I knew. But if it's apart from God's design, they are misshaped. So I don't gaslight them. You're out of shape. I still don't even know how to do that. So you're doing it wrong.
But the cool thing is, I think God is so amazing. He shows us time and time again that though we may have made these numerous problems over and over and over, that there's grace, right? And he needs
Yes.
the process to take place over time.
Absolutely.
So we can be, one, see it, have our
Yes.
perspective change, like one was saying this
Yes.
time, and then realize, oh, I can be better.
Yes.
There
I
is a
don't have to
promised
do
land
it
for
this
me.
way.
Yeah.
And I can cross over.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't want that Moses spot.
You want whatever spot God carved
Yeah,
out.
but I don't want that Moses spot at the end. Remember Moses got
Where
he got that penthouse in the sky in the cave.
Come on.
I don't want that spot.
I don't want that.
Where he watched the children of Israel who crossed over, right? And he watched them get the blessing
Yeah.
because his disobedience put him in that spot where he crossed the Red Sea. He got in the promised land, but he couldn't take
He couldn't
part in
take
it.
part in it. And but you know why? You know what got him? His core 4, his womb to 7 experience. Study Moses's womb to 7 experience. That's what's wrong. That's why he couldn't do God's will to the end. I'm finishing. I don't care. I don't care who cares thinks. I am finishing this race. I'm going to be everything that God designed me to be. If not that, then what am I doing?
One of the things that came out in the last show, and the thing I've been dealing with in my life the last couple of days, Lord just gave me just shut up and live. We spend a lot of time whining and complaining and then wallowing in, or those who are super spiritual, lamenting, book of Lamentations, about what is wrong and what we don't like, and no one loves me and I didn't have this. If we would just cast those cares on him, put all that stuff
That's
away,
it.
because he cares for
That's it.
us, and then it goes, okay, I'm gonna shake that out. Okay, like a football analogy, right? You've seen some of them cats take some horrific hits, right? Or if you're a corner, Deion Sanders played at 49ers. He got spot and burned for a deep ball and a touchdown before, right? We have to have the mindset like a cornerback. We got to shake that junk off.
Yeah.
Let that last play be the last play, and let this current play be the only play we're concerned about, and go forward. Because we keep worrying about who I was before,
Right.
and what I did just a moment ago, I'll
Yeah.
never
You'll
be
never
ready
get
Well,
it.
yeah.
because I'm still playing in the
Too
last
busy
play.
stuck back there. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't do that.
Miss Wanda, how do you feel about Unparented? What are you thinking?
Oh man, the Unparented series is going to definitely speak to my heart because it's in just, I was kind of echoing what Craig said there is I grew up with my parents in my home. My mom and my dad were married until I was 17, but they were both emotionally unavailable. My dad was checked out doing his own thing. My mom, it wasn't until I became a full adult woman in a marriage I realized how difficult it must have been to raise these girls and have this husband there and all of these things. And so for me, the unparent, I'm looking forward to it because it will help me as I continue to navigate the journey of releasing the resentment I had towards my
Yeah.
parents and all of the things and still and walking forward at the same time. Like I'm blessed that I don't have that woe is me and I'm still stuck back there, but there's still some barriers that are standing between me and the next thing. And so I'm looking forward to that clip. I was just like, really, this is the clip, Lord? Really? Like this is when I opened it the other day, I just closed it. I was like, forget you, Sean. Like I just was like, okay, because he be all up in my business, Daddy. Thank you very much. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it because for me, it's definitely it hits home. It hits
Yeah.
home for me.
It really does.
And
I
it
hope-
hits home for me as, like you were saying too, as a mother of a now adult.
yes.
How do we, while my son and I's relationship is good, there's still some things that I did in as a pattern, right? I raised him in the pattern of how I was raised.
Shaped.
And
Yep.
so now it's trying to navigate this, like how do we get on a better footing, I guess I would say. I mean, my son is like, Mom, I don't even think about that stuff. Like he's a forward thinking person. It's me that's always like, I'm sorry I did this, I should have. And so yeah, the whole thing, it's just going to be good.
It is. I'm telling you, everybody who's on this train with us, choo choo, choo choo. Everybody's on the train. Yeah, come on, ride it. I love our train.
I just want to say, look, before we end, I just want to say, can I get an album? Can Miss Wanda get an album?
Yes, Miss Wanda. Get to writing, sister. You can get an album.
I got stuff. I've got stuff.
Gregory is the producer of the year. Do you hear me? I'm telling you, he produces songs that make my heart. When I'm not kidding you, when I heard "Tell Me," and he wanted me to put, I was at first. I promise you, he touched all the way down to I think 1995 or no. So I'm sorry, like 1990. He touched me all the way back there. I was like, how did he do that with music, right? And then when he gives me his gospel tracks, right, I'm like, and then when you get, oh my God, you guys, I'm telling you, be glad you know us now. Let me just say that. So Miss Wanda, I say this to say, Craig got you on the beat. Just put your lyrics on.
Because I got stuff. I got books and books of rhyme concepts and hooks. Where does that come from?
Books and books,
Yeah,
and concepts and hooks.
You get it?
That's
You
yeah.
get that?
Yeah,
You heard that? Right.
That's
So
brand Nubian. Thank you very much.
You are a part of Shawneeville, and in Shawneeville, we make dreams happen. Everybody should be able to live their dream. Just do what you were created to do. I love Shawneeville. I've been living here by myself for a long time. So I am just so glad that people are now starting to find out about it and come in, because it's not about necessarily a physical place. It's a mindset. It's a way of life. And as you live that way of life, you attract more people around you. We're all just growing and developing. We're all suffering sexy. We're all doing the thing. And the most sexy thing that everybody can be is what God created them to be. When we go to Africa next year and y'all come with us, we're going to go to a safari. And there is nothing like seeing God's creation. And you're like, I'm a part of this. God, we had a giraffe so close you could touch it. And you're like, God took the time to carve out the stripes and the length of the neck and the beauty and then its way of life and then where it's supposed to be. That's us. I want us to live in that reality so well that we can live well together. So we're at the 10:56 mark, and I hate that we almost have to go, but I do love this so much. Go back and watch the series. If you did not, go back and watch the series. It soon is going to be in a whole package on, I guess, all the platform distribution, but Spotify, Spoochy Pooch, and Dootsy Doots. It'll be on all of those pretty soon.
Smoochy Pooch.
Smoochy Stoots and Slootly Poots. It'll be on all of the platforms really soon. We want you to have the content. We want you to grow, and then we want to give you a place where you can live life within a community that is focused on doing life in a way that provides growth and development and not stuck. Purpose or poison. It's only two options. Just make a choice. Stop all the noise then. Miss Wanda, where can they find you?
After August 8th, you can find me on Instagram at full_circle975. Or you can hear past episodes of Full Circle on your favorite podcasting platform if you follow Ms. Wanda's Full Circle Radio on Spotify, Apple, all of the places. But yeah, the show is on hiatus this month. I am taking a well-deserved break. I'll be back August 8th with all new live episodes.
It's on all the platforms though, so they can go back and listen to past.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so they can go follow Ms. Wanda's Full Circle Radio, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, all of the places. And coming, like, I think next Sunday, they're going to be able to watch me and you on Lessons from the Journey meets Full Circle. I don't even know what platform it's going to yet, but it's coming next Sunday. It's coming. Yeah.
It's
I just say yes
Sunday.
these days.
So,
I just say yes these days.
And you know what, I'm so glad, you had to say yes because this is what we've been walking to all these years. So you really didn't have a choice but to say yes, because God already told us, and he told us we were going in the airplane. He told us all those things. And so now we are here. Gregory, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me sitting right here.
No, wait, not really. We can't find you.
On Raising Men, RZNGMEN. You'll find us there. It'll take you any other place we're at for.
What about your music? Where can we find your music?
Ooh, Craig and Anthony. So it's Craig and Anthony out there on our music. We're on Spotify, Apple Music. We even had the song that was number 13 on the rock charts.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
We
actually got our first payout from that track too.
Oh, congrats!
Don't you like money?
Yeah,
I do.
That was wild.
I do too. And you guys, you can find us right here. Lessons from the Journey on YouTube. This is where we live. This is where this show lives. This is where I live. And you can find me on anything I am SLB. Go hang out with me on TikTok because there's some things that are coming that I'm super excited. So until next Saturday, you know what I want you to do. I want you to go love your life. Thank you, Craig and Wanda. We'll see you next Saturday, y'all.
Peace.
Peace. Amen.